On a cold February night in 2004, a young woman vanished from a quiet road in New Hampshire. No witnesses saw her leave and no one heard her scream that no trail was left behind. What makes this case terrifying isn't just that she disappeared, it's how little time it took. Less than 10 minutes. Her name was Maura Murray. She was 21 years old, a nursing student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, by all outward appearances. Maura was responsible, athletic, and driven. She came from a close-knit family. She ran track. She worked part-time while studying one of the most demanding majors on campus. She wasn't known for recklessness. She wasn't known for running away, which is why, when she disappeared, nothing about it made sense. To understand how Maura vanished, we have to start days before she was last seen, when the cracks in her life quietly began to show. In early February 2004, Maura Murray's behavior changed. The first incident happened on campus. Maura used a credit card number that didn't belong to her to order food. She claimed it was a mistake, that she was trying to return the items, but the damage was done. Campus police were notified. Maura was shaken. Just 2 days later, something else happened. Late at night, Maura was driving her father's car. For reasons still unclear, she lost control and crashed into a guardrail. When police arrived, they found Maura sitting in the driver's seat, visibly upset. She wasn't intoxicated. She wasn't injured, but she was crying. Her father would later say she'd been under extreme stress, school pressure, personal struggles, a sense that something in her life was unraveling. Then came the emails. On the morning of February 9th, Maura sent emails to her professors and workplace. She wrote that there had been a death in her family, that she would be away for several days. But there was no death, no funeral, no emergency. Maura never explained the lie. Later that day, she packed up her dorm room. Not everything. Just clothes, toiletries, textbooks, and personal items. Then she withdrew almost all the money from her bank account, roughly $280. She purchased alcohol, printed directions to locations in northern New England, and without telling a single person where she was going, Maura Murray got into her car. Sometime in the afternoon, Maura began driving north. Her exact destination remains unknown. Phone records show no calls, no texts, no messages. As night fell, the weather worsened. At approximately 7:27 p.m., Maura's black Saturn veered off Route 112 near Woodsville, New Hampshire. The road was dark. The curve was sharp. Snowbanks lined both sides. Her car struck a snowbank and spun. A nearby resident, Butch Atwood, heard the impact. He stepped outside and saw a young woman standing near the vehicle. She appeared shaken but conscious. "Are you okay? I can call the police." Maura declined. She told him she had already called for roadside assistance. But there is no record of such a call. Concerned, Butch returned to his home and called 911 anyway. The dispatcher noted the call at 7:42 p.m. Police were sent immediately. They arrived at the scene between 7 and 10 minutes later. Maura Murray was gone. Her car was locked. Her belongings were inside. There were no footprints leading away from the vehicle. No signs of a struggle. No evidence of where she went. In less time than it takes to watch this segment, she vanished. Search teams arrived quickly. Dogs were brought in to track Maura's scent. They followed it briefly east along the road. Then it stopped. Abruptly, investigators suggested this meant Maura entered a vehicle. But whose? No confirmed witnesses saw her get picked up, and no passing drivers ever came forward. Inside Maura's car, police found an open box of wine and other alcohol. Some believe Maura panicked, afraid of a DUI, and fled the scene. But that theory raises a question. Why run into freezing temperatures with no winter coat and never return? 18 months later, a discovery reignited the case. Maura's backpack was found buried near a construction site, miles from the crash. Inside were personal items, but no clear indication of what happened to her. No blood, no signs of violence, just more unanswered questions. Some believe Maura fled into the woods and died from exposure, but extensive searches found no remains. No clothing, no trace. After 2 decades, this theory grows harder to support. Others believe Maura planned to disappear. She withdrew cash. She packed up her dorm. She lied about a family death. But she left behind her phone, her ID, her credit cards, and she never contacted her family again. The most chilling theory is abduction. A dark road, a vulnerable moment, a window of less than 10 minutes. A crime of opportunity. If that's what happened, the person responsible has never been identified. Maura Murray has been missing for over 20 years. No arrests. No definitive evidence. Only theories. Her family continues to search. Online communities dissect every detail, and investigators still debate what truly happened in those missing minutes. Somewhere between a crashed car and a dark New Hampshire road, Maura Murray disappeared. Whether she ran, was taken, or chose to vanish, the truth remains just out of reach. If you were there that night, what do you think happened to Maura Murray? This was episode 1 of Last Recorded Moments. Some stories end. Others echo forever.